Can you see the dawn's early light was so proudly we had the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rugged the monsters gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, good evening, everybody. How we doing tonight?
Well, hello.
Good. Hello.
Well, before we get going too far, how about we do this? Hey, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And yes, I do have that memorized, but I always put that up for everybody.
That's good.
Twitter is not working, Mike, so it didn't work.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried, and I came in, so
I don't know. I still haven't figured it out. Once in a while it works, once in a while it don't. When I'm on by myself, it works. Like today, I used it this morning.
right.
And
We
when
saw
we
that.
schedule an event that works, I have no clue why this doesn't work. But someday we'll figure it out. I guess I'm not an electronic guru enough to figure all that crap out.
We'll be on our 200th show. We'll have it figured out.
There you go. Yeah, give us
There
another
we
year.
go.
We might get it. But I think it has something to do when they switched over to premium, and they're still struggling with that. So anyone that's catching this, we are on Rumble. We are, of course, right here on everywhere else that you're connected to, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. By the way, we had Twitch listeners today on the morning show. So,
Yep.
Vance, good to see you back, bud.
Where
Good
you
to be
been,
back,
man?
guys.
Hi there.
I've been a busy man.
I know.
Busy man. Well, I guess I'm going to let people start coming. So I want to let everybody know that Friday, of course, I'll be on. Mike does not do the morning show with me with Todd anymore because he took a promotion, and I'm not going to say that's a bad thing. We miss having you on there, but hey.
He's
Well,
got his own hot dog morning show, don't he?
Yeah, I got the morning show now, and I get up at 4. I get to work at 4:30, and I just got home in time to assemble this new chair that I have in order to get up here. So yeah, so finally another one of those Temu purchases. So there you go.
Well, as long as you aren't drinking and ordering like you did one other time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you hit that send button when your basket's full.
Man, all those,
this looks great.
Things just showed up, and I was like, "Well, I don't even know what that is, but I
like it.
I guess it's mine now."
So I did check everything out here. We're on everything but Twitter, and I don't know why, guys. So what I might do, and we do one of our breaks, I might go out myself and come back in, during one of our commercial breaks and see if that makes it reactivate. Because last week, remember, Mike, when everything went dead on us?
Right.
Boom, it was working. So I don't know what causes that.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
But anyway, also on Friday, I'll be on with Mike or Todd over there at Mitchell in the morning. We had some things we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss Governor Walz. Todd's from Minnesota, and we'd love to bash that guy. So we'll probably do a little bit of that. Yeah, Commie. That's what he is. You know what? Going through this guy's record and looking at things he's done, he's worse than her. and I didn't think it could get worse than her. Oh my goodness!
Well, he's more accomplished than her, that's for sure. Just not in a good way.
I guess he was elected versus her. She'd never been elected, so.
Well, she was she was
Once.
on the ticket. She was on the ticket. So yeah,
Yeah.
I did find a piece of art for you that you would find very interesting, and just see if you like it or not. But I thought you would like that. I found that today, and I thought, hey, that could be a new shirt right there if we could get the rights to that one. So there we go.
Well, I don't need the rights. You send me a bigger version of it, I can make that happen.
Well,
I like
that
that
one.
There we go.
All right.
You know me, I don't really think much of rules, regs, things like that. I just do what I want. I've kind of always been that way. Anyway, so another thing we got is coming up, I believe. Let me look at my calendar. So I think there's a possibility next week on the 12th, and I can't confirm it for sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be actually guest hosting Dakota mornings there at KFYR in the morning because Mr. Michael Bell is going to be gone. And on the 16th, I think that is when, it's going to be the 16th. Jamie is going to be guest hosting for Mike Bell on Dakota mornings. I'm going to join him via the phone because I'll be in the hills that weekend. The phone, and then the 22nd. So put this on your calendar. 22nd, Kelly Armstrong will be joining JD and myself, and on 701 Nation. And I think we're just not going to do a 21st, a Wednesday show. I think we'll just incorporate that with the 22nd, so that everybody kind of knows that there's really no reason to. And Kelly's going to be a great guest. It's not political, really, with Kelly. We love to hunt. We love to talk hunting and shooting with him. And it's awesome to know that our next governor is going to probably be the most pro-gun governor we've probably ever had in the state of North Dakota. So we're looking. We got a busy week or a busy month coming up. So looking forward to those. Mike, I got to ask you.
Ask away.
Do you know what's his face over there at Silencer Company, Silencer Co.?
I have a friend of mine that worked over there, and I asked her to come on, and they said that the rules are so stringent on their reps coming on to podcasts and whatnot that they limit it to just the main guys. So, and that's fine. I mean, if you want to control your message, I mean, I can understand that. And
what I'd like you to do, if you're able to, visit with them again. I used to have Brandon's number, and I don't know. I suppose I lost it when I didn't get transferred from my NRA phone because I knew him a little bit there when he was just getting started. We'd like to get him on, but I'd want him on. See if you can somehow get a hold of him. Let's see if we can work on that because we got a lot of people actually. There's a lot of movement evidently happening with suppressors, and especially I suppose with ATF and the electronic stuff. And so I think it'd be good if we could try to get him on. And there's a couple other guys I can contact, but I thought he might be the guy, especially being I know he's a native South Dakotan.
Right. So yeah, I'll get on that.
Let's see if we can't get him on. I think that'd make a great show to round out in August. I'll tell you the truth because we've got such a jam-packed deal coming up here in August. But anyway, so that was just kind of what I wanted to get out there before we got started on the show tonight. I don't know, you guys got anything?
Well, we got a few things we're going into. Of course, I apologize that I had to switch up a few things, and I don't really apologize because I like taking more money, and even though I got more responsibility, it's been a blast. But I have been shirking my duties a little bit. I've fallen behind on my badasses of the week. I'm going to have to do what is those guys do, like pastors, take a sabbatical, like take a couple weeks and just go out and do nothing but produce up stuff. Yeah, there you go. It's been kind of tough, but I got so many in the pipe, but it's just difficult.
I see you got one loaded tonight.
I got one loaded tonight, but it's one that we've done in the past, and I thought we'd do it again and
absolutely
kind of give me a little time to work on. I've got some great ones that people have suggested to us, and I've just, like I said, fallen behind with all the workload. Like I said, 4:30 to 6 and all that it's farmers hours.
Is this one this week? Is this the one about me?
No, because
it's badass. I thought it said dumbass.
No. The statute of limitations has not run out on the gag orders on all your stuff, so we're still.
Oh, wow! Boom. Yeah, I think though there is some dumbasses mentioned in this one, if I remember right.
Yeah, we had some dumbasses in this one.
I did create the event for it, so tonight's badass will actually replay tomorrow.
Yep.
I've got that set up to replay tomorrow, and then you guys can access it as its own thing on all of our platforms after that. I thought that was the best way to do it, essentially, because it has been done before, but that was before we started putting them out there like we do now. So it'd be a great one to do that with.
And it's just been once I get into a rhythm, you know, this whole morning show thing is an entirely different thing when you have to get into it. So it takes a couple of weeks just to get yourself acclimated to the sleep differences.
I bet.
Going to bed at 9 and getting up at 4, and so
you're like an old NRA field rep now.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, doesn't it?
Getting up early, traveling.
Only without that bothersome cash.
I like that. If only you had that, right?
That's what we used to say about girls from Hooters. It says it's all the degradation of being a stripper, but without that bothersome cash.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh,
and speaking of that, by the way, that is an institution that is going down the tubes. Apparently, Hooters is closing like 40 stores across the United States. And my son and me, we almost got to go to one over in Williamsburg, in Colonial Williamsburg, outside Colonial Williamsburg. Obviously, you know, Benjamin Franklin did not have his own Hooters there.
He did,
but
come on.
Well, he technically did, but not named that. But no, they're closing a bunch, so it might be one of those pilgrimages we have to do to hit the last ones that are alive, I guess. But, yeah.
You know, when I was going to college up in Fargo, there was one that was handy, and it was right there in town, so we did frequent it.
Actually, that would be a better name for it, Handies.
Handies. You know. I've been to a few. I went to the one in the Mega Mall.
Did you miss us, Vance? Did you miss us?
Yes, absolutely.
I can tell you the one in the Mega Mall.
To see you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's talking about coming up this fall. So, Mike, I was telling him when you were going to be up here. So,
good. Yeah.
We'll just have to see how that works out. Getting back to, I got to mention this as a Hooters thing. The Minneapolis one, or the one in the Mega Mall at the time, I definitely at that time would have recommended going. The one in Fargo, well, you know that corn-fed thing? I don't know if the one in Fargo was the best one to go to.
Well, you see, that's all right up my alley.
I was going to say, you'd have been like, you'd have been making it rain.
Yeah, I'm like saying, bring me some more sweet tea, because I am all about that.
After a few drinks, we would have had to rein you back.
My goodness.
Pushing for the cushion right there. Mike. There you go. I'll take that.
All right. By the way, we are not broadcasting on the Facebook channel to you, Mike. For some reason, it would not go through.
I have an issue with my Facebook at the present moment. I found out that my Facebook is actually under an email account that I forgot I had 8 years ago. And so I had to go in and make some changes with the new job. I was changing my titles and stuff like that, and I was going to add some stuff in there. And then when I did that, I had to go in and hit my password. Well, then it came up the email address, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what that email address is anymore. Anyway, so I had to look. So anyway, I'm kind of bumped out of my Facebook for the present moment. So I apologize about that.
No, that's okay. I just seen it came up there and failed. And of course, I can't use mine if I want the other stuff to work. So I don't even have mine on there anymore.
We're having technical difficulties all the way around right now.
Well, I do go. What I do is I went to Guns in the 701's page and I shared it on my own. So you'll be able to access it that way. Okay. Hopefully we get this Twitter thing figured out. I hope. We'll see. But also, we got hacked. Guns in the 701's email address got hacked bad. I mean, it got slammed. So if you want to send them an email, because people do, send it to this one, the shootus93@gmail.com. You can send it there. Most of you have that that listen to the show. And we're working on it. I'm working with our web hosting gal. She's been great about this. I think what we're going to do, Mike, you, myself, and JD, she's going to create emails for each one of us. You know,
awesome.
That'll have our name on it, and then at Guns in the 701.
That'd be awesome.
And then from there, we'll eliminate the guns at gunsin the701.com, and we're probably going to have to go to a 2-step authentication.
Ooh,
which
sound important. Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like you can.
I do that with my phone at work all the time, so that's just a common thing nowadays.
I'm not used to that, but it's You know what? There's got to be a special place in hell for people that got nothing better to do than hack accounts. I just
Well, that's their way. I mean, they found their way to
Hmm.
do things, and that's what kind of upsets me. I get back in time today. I had a lot of good examples of dumbasses from around the world that I was going to upload today, but I didn't really get to those. Yeah, we are so messed up with our technology right now that I even got bumped out of this. My calculator on my phone is permanently.
Now you can't add and subtract anymore.
No, it's permanently banned me from my account. So yeah, even that, it's a rough world now.
Now, them
It's
guys
that
that hack,
lazy dot. They won't let you count that high on your calculator.
There you go. There you go.
here's what I think of hackers. Yeah, dang it, they're nasty people. We need to eliminate them. But anyway, well, I'll tell you what, we've wasted about the first 17 minutes of the show. That's okay.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
You know what? I think that's a great time to do one of our first commercials.
Okay.
Thank some of our sponsors, and then we'll come back and maybe get into the show. How about that?
You hit the commercial. I'll hit the promo to begin it with. How about that? I got something
Sounds
new
good.
for you. It's something old and new that I did last week, and we'll hit it this week and see
Go
if you
for
guys notice anything different. Wait a minute. Wait.
There you go.
There you go. You notice that we got the OnlyFans was up there in the very top. That was coming
saw it.
soon.
Coming
soon.
All right. Go to commercial.
Oh, I'll hit that first. You go ahead and hit commercial.
There you go. All right. There it goes.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Bandit.
Brother, hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck, Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
And we are back. I did like that new intro, Mike.
You like that?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And, to add to that, there we go, right here, the Trumpomania.
There you go.
I actually got a request to make a T-shirt with the yellow shirt and then that in red because the old Hulkster, he used to wear that too. So I bought the shirt while I was in Bismarck. It's going to happen. We're going to have some fun with it. So
there you go. I think that'd be great.
Oh, hey, Gene, hey, I'll put this up. Gene Cox, he says, our gun show is September 14th and 15th. Gene, when you get a chance, email me your flyer, and we'll definitely go ahead and promo that for you guys.
Yeah, we'll
and
put it
get
on
the
all
word
our
out there.
sites and all the other good stuff. There we go.
Hopefully, I'm around. Last year, I wasn't around. Maybe I can make it over there this year. I put it. Or I should know early enough. Hopefully, I can make it over there. I'd love to come over and have some fun with you guys as well. So, all right, gun show, Mulbridge, South Dakota, September 14th and 15th. Put it on your calendar. We will get you more info on that as we get it. So, all right. Should we actually start the show?
Yeah, let's start the show. We got a few things to talk about. We could talk about Kamala first. I mean, if you want.
Camel toe, yeah. So Camel Toe Harris, she's she's pretty pro gun, right?
Well, here's the thing is that we go back to Benny Johnson from earlier this year. Of course, remember when Kamala said that she would pass executive orders for mandatory gun confiscations on her first 100 days.
Yeah. Oh, but
Forget if it's illegal or constitutional or anything else like that. Let's just tie it up in the courts and make everybody a criminal on the first 100 days of her so-called wanting to be president. So yeah, I'm like going, no, that ain't going to happen. So
how do the Democrats claim to love freedom and democracy when all they want to do is take things away from us and tax us till we can't, till we're slaves to the government? How do
that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. You don't need any money. What they want to do is have you taxed about 70%. You don't need any money. You just get everything from them. You get your health care from them. You get your food from them. You get everything from them. And then, of course, then you have just a little bit that you can spend or for yourself. But the rest of it, goes to them. And that way you're safer. And because I have actually heard people in the past in my life say things as dumb as, well, people don't know how to handle their money anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's better that the government gets it than you have it. And I'm like going, okay.
Sounds a lot like slavery to me.
We
we won't hurt you. We'll feed you. We'll give you housing. We'll take care of you and everything. Just do what we tell you to, and we won't hurt you.
You'll have nothing, and you'll love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. I can tell you, it's not going to work for me. It's. I finally watched the movie 300, and yeah, I get it kind of now. It's weird, a little bit different movie, but all you have to do, is bend the knee, and I'm not going to be able to do that.
No,
I'm not going to be able to do that. We will fight.
See, that's going to be a problem. That's where he says
that's going to be a problem. Yes, and that's going to be a problem. I'm pretty affable, so I'll probably just go along to get along, right?
Right. How's that worked out for you in the past? I don't think I've ever heard that come from you. So,
I'd like to say I've tried it, but I really couldn't tell you what that's like. I've never really cared, and it's costed me things in the past, but I do not compromise my rights, especially the Second Amendment rights. And Kamala, Kamala, however the hell she pronounced, I don't really care. She's a freaking commie. Let's just call her Commie Harris because that's what she is. And,
well, there's other things she is too, considering how she got her positions.
Well, she's a whore.
By putting herself.
No, whores get paid, so I don't know what you call her, slut.
Guys,
I'm on a roll tonight, right, Mike?
Montel Williams, side chick.
Yeah. Well, she not just him. Think about this. I think she actually got elected to the Attorney General's office by way of on her knees. But as far as the other positions she's had, and we're talking political positions, she probably knows other positions. Maybe OnlyFans is the place for her. I don't know. But
this is a family show, Clay.
Yeah, well,
sort of. It depends on the family.
Yeah, it depends on the family, really.
Family.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I'm just saying that she is the one of the most anti-gun. I think the most. Obama was bad, but she don't hide it. She's all for confiscation. She wants to add justices to the Supreme Court because what do I always say? When Democrats lose, they want to change the rules. Well, they don't like the rulings, the right ones coming out constitutionally, not from the Supreme Courts. Oh, we'd like to add up to 4.
Yeah, add more, or let's get rid of Thomas. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's get rid of this girl. Why? We weren't saying that before.
No.
When it was evenly split down the center, and of course Roberts was the deciding vote. Now all of a sudden it's the worst thing ever. And then the reason is because it's not going your way. And that's life, ladies and gentlemen. Things don't go your way. all the time. You've got to fight for what you do inch by inch. I mean, I can do the Any Given Sunday Al Pacino speech if you know that one. Inch by inch, you got to fight for it, and you turn one way too soon or too fast, and you'll miss your opportunity or this or that. It doesn't just get handed to you, and that's the thing. It's a get handed to you mentality, whereas we're talking about working for it.
Yeah, and she's never worked for nothing. I mean, she was making fun of. She was making fun of J.D. Vance as weird, and that was a catchphrase all through the drive-by media. But I'm sitting there going, "Really? You're calling?"
I'm sorry, man, but let me go ahead and tell you, I'm going to be the third man out here on this one. But J.D. Vance was a loser move on our part, and I can't go anywhere on that. Now, the problem I have is that I have already cast my vote. Trump's got my vote, and it's good to go. But Vance it doesn't bring anything to the table. The guy, huh?
What?
I
can tell you this, and this is where me and Mike, we don't agree on everything. I like J.D. Vance. I think he was a great choice. I think that he's a very successful man. He came from nothing, from poverty. I mean, he's the American story. Well, unless you got some information I don't know about.
I just think he's fake. I think everything about him is fabricated and fake. I don't think there's anything substance to him.
So his book and his movie, all that's fake?
No, I think it's all bullshit. Well, shit. We've had #1 sellers in the United States, Oprah Winfrey putting guys up on pedestals for their books, and we find out it's all fake. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. And that's what our society does. It follows along with certain people. And I just don't believe it.
Usually a liar, though, Mike, trips his story up. I haven't seen him do that yet.
It's because I heard him say anything. That's the trick.
Well, you got to be watching everywhere.
I know. I watch
his story about his life hasn't changed. It really hasn't.
No, I see a man blaming other people for things like his mom and all that, and it's all on their own stuff.
Who would you have picked?
Well, not Burgum, obviously. Not Burgum.
No, not Burgum.
I would have said screw it and gone with Noam anyway.
Well, what would she have brought to the table?
Well, the thing about it is that she appeals for your female vote more than you realize. I mean, there are a lot of people that would follow that along, and that's what we're really fighting against, because we fought against it in the Obama elections back in 2008. With the females coming out and voting in droves for him. And we got to fight against it on this one too, because right now we're not offering anything to our female Republicans and really the Democrats that want to vote the other way.
I don't believe that there's a Democrat on earth that wants to vote the other way just because a Republican, especially Trump, picks a woman. I don't think that matters whatsoever.
I think on that though, if you look back 2016,
maybe a different candidate.
We all went to bed thinking, well, I did. I went to bed thinking there's no way that we are going to win this thing. So I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to do my best to try to get local candidates elected and this and that. And I woke up, my family hated me because boom, Trump
you're in
won.
A mixed marriage.
Right. I know that.
You're married to a liberal.
I totally didn't believe it, but everybody was like me. They're like, there's no freaking way we're ever going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And you know what? I don't see this as much different. It's an entitlement type of person that Harris, this other guy, he's folksy as all hell, man, out there in his in his little orange camo shooting at the birds and all this. I'm like going, you know what? Accomplish something serious, not the crap that they keep touting and everything.
You're talking about JD or Walsh?
Walsh on that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Walsh on that one. No,
JD, he kind of accomplished a few things. Business, made himself his own man. That way, things like that.
If you say so, I mean, it's fine.
You don't think he created his business?
I think he's.
It's actually a real business.
Okay, more.
I'll put it this way: the paperwork's all in place.
Yeah, well, the paperwork's been in place in a lot of stuff. I don't know.
I mean,
but Walsh, say that, Gene's
Mike's
right.
You gotta don't realize people say that about me too.
What? That
I'm fake. That I've actually I'm not kidding. That I haven't done what I've said I've done, and that I don't do it. It's like, whatever, man. I mean,
Oh,
I
is,
did.
is that all the guys that you've basically told to pound sand up in North
Probably.
Dakota in the in legislation, and basically
No,
you got
it's
things
actually
passed
there's
that no one else could get passed because you pushed it through, or the years that you pushed over major things over years and years that you pushed through South Dakota, North Dakota, and got through for legislation and more because you were pounding the pavement and hitting the doors, and you got the people together. That's the stuff that gets done. The stuff in the back
It
rooms
does.
and stuff
And
like that.
I don't really brag about it. Even when I was doing it, I didn't
I'm
even tell
doing it
anybody
for
what I
you.
was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been accused by people. Some people, I guess, name him Frank Tomac, dumbass. Anyway, he really thinks I'm fake, but and he can pound sand.
Yeah,
But
well.
I don't know. I'm who I am, and I think JD is too. But I guess time will tell. I mean,
Yeah, we'll see.
It's like I tell everybody, me and Jamie, me and Vance, me and you, we don't always. Everyone
No.
thinks this is an echo chamber. Trust me, it's not.
No.
But 80 to 90% of the time, we're on the same page, especially when it comes to morals, Christianity, and our Constitution. I mean, we all want the same goal there, and that's okay. That's if you only hang around people that always agree with you 100% of the time, it's probably not a good environment.
Yeah, the echo chambers are out there. I mean, they're pretty abundant, and and the difference between us and them is they make money for some reason. But, but
And you may be a sponsor of Guns and 701. Get a hold of us at
guns at gunsandthe701.com.
No, don't use that one. That one's not going to work.
Oh,
anymore.
shoot.
You have to
Okay.
use the shootist one. So
Yeah, that's right. Sorry about that.
But yeah, I like JD, I guess, until I see otherwise. But I'm not voting for him anyway. I'm voting for Trump, and I don't like everything Trump did either. No, this morning we were on Bell's show. We talked a little bit about that. We didn't get into that too heavy because I would have liked to, but that went to the Rittenhouse thing about how Rittenhouse was not going to vote for Trump because Trump was anti-gun, and then he backpedaled on it finally. It was what, 2-3 hours.
And the thing about that is, go ahead, Vance. I'm going to go rattle on about that jerk off, but go ahead real quick if you got anything to say real quick so that I don't cut you off here.
Did you hear about the Rittenhouse thing?
Well, I heard what you told me earlier, and I think that hurt his reputation because for him doing what he did, it shows how uneducated he is in who is where they stand on guns.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it simple that what he did to be famous is the right thing. He did the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
The problem is that I think an idiot kid did the right thing at the right time, and we've been propping him up, he's been trying to basically grift off this whole conservative system that we have between YouTubes and everything else, and there's no substance there. There's nothing at all for him. Now, did he do the right thing? Yeah. Did he protect himself with a weapon? Yes. Did he take down some badasses, or actually some dumbasses?
There you go.
The one guy, what can he can't hold up his hand and say, yes, it's me, I'm a dumbass anymore, can he?
No.
And I don't really give a damn about him. But the thing about it is that beyond that, there's no substance to the kid. The kid is mentally stunted a little bit. I think more so because of the fame that he got. And
he's a 21-year-old kid that hasn't lived enough life, got a lot of fame in a short period of time. And he really, honestly, I don't care what he's got to say. Doesn't matter to me. I think he was wrong on the Trump thing. Then someone finally must have informed him, and that was a done deal. Axe puts in here that McCain lost with a female pick. He did. McCain was a poor presidential candidate anyway.
McCain was the weak one on that.
I'll tell you this. It's the first time I probably voted for a presidential candidate because of his vice president pick. Usually the vice president pick don't mean much to me.
And I'll tell you, I worked on the McCain campaign in South Carolina back in 98 or whatever it was when we were going through there. And he was not the same guy back then that he was just 6 or 7 years later. He was not the same guy. He was complete flip and just I just the same way.
I think McCain became the Bob Dole of that time frame. Bob Dole got to run because it was his time to run.
It was his time,
And we knew he was going to get. I mean, I was young then. I knew Clinton was going to trounce him, and he did.
Thanks.
And I think McCain was the same thing. What's that?
Thanks to you.
Thanks to me, yeah. This is the second time. So he ran against Bush the first. I didn't make that mistake twice. But McCain, I think they just felt that it was his time. He'd put in his time and he'd done his due diligence, and so that's why he was the candidate. And anymore, honestly, guys, when you look at the primary races, do they really matter anymore?
No,
I mean,
it's all set up.
The primary races, other than this one, and in the last cycle, we knew it was going to be Trump. You know, Trump was the incumbent. And of course, when he ran the first time, look how many people ran in that primary and counted him out, including myself. When he first ran, I didn't think he had a chance.
Yeah, he wasn't the one we were looking. We were looking at Cruz, weren't we?
I was looking at Cruz.
Yeah.
I was on cruise control. I love
Yeah.
Ted Cruz.
Ooh,
I
that's a good
still love Ted Cruz. I had my signs and my flags up for Ted Cruz.
Mhm.
And he's still he's a hell of a guy. He is a true constitutionalist. Now, does he have the persona? No. Trump is he is an entertainer. He always has been, right? It's Trump. It's the brand.
It's a brand.
I don't know. Maybe to me, he's probably the right guy for the right time in history right now. Who follows Trump? I don't know. I really don't. I really don't.
I
You know-
know one thing. I got to have me a Trump Vance sign, and I will keep it.
There you go.
So I'm gonna have to do. You know, I did this for. I don't
Oh, yeah,
know
where
what
is that?
Here. Here it is. Here you go. Trump Vance right here. Is it up? There
I
we
got to
go.
have that.
Trump Vance, and then
You know-
I went and made one for JD because it's JD Vance.
Yeah.
we
Hey,
had
you know,
that
one of the things about Rittenhouse on that is that if he had more of a following of people following what he has to say and whatnot, like it could have had more danger, because his whole thing about writing in candidates like Ron Paul, James Madison, all that stuff, you know, instead of voting, who he should, is a bad precedence to set. And now I don't think he has enough influence in public opinion to make anybody really write anything in. But you think about that. Writing in is basically saying, I'm not going to vote.
Yeah, and he said he was going to write in not to Rand Paul. He was going to go for Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Now, I like Ron Paul. Okay, liked him when he was in there. I like his son, Rand Paul. But that's a dumb thing. It's just a dumb idea. The candidate for the Republican Party and probably the best chance of winning is Trump. The candidate probably for the DNC, I'm not going to call her the candidate yet, even though they did this virtual thing. They've got funny rules in their party, but there could be a change. I'm not saying there will be, but who knows? There really could. Maybe Walz. How about this? What if Walz decides to go ahead and challenge the presidential candidate for president as a vice
hope
president?
he
That would be
does.
funny.
I hope
That
he
would be
does.
hilarious. But
At least to make it interesting.
I put it this way: anything is up for grabs. I think right now in the DNC, them guys they don't know what they're doing right now. They're lucky they got the media on their side, because the media carries their water, and they're putting her up on this pedestal. You look at the things that she's got, just in the right here. Harris endorsed bills, and we're kind of getting off the Rittenhouse, but it all ties together here.
Yeah.
Let's bring these up. Right there. There's her endorsed Senate bill. That's when she was a senator. By the way, that she didn't get elected to. She was appointed.
Right.
3 times on bills to ban 3D printed firearms. Really? 4 times bills to weaponize domestic violence funding. 2 times assault weapons ban, and she'll do it a third or fourth, or how many times she wants to do. 2 times on standard capacity magazine ban. 2 times on gun confiscation order bills. That's as a senator, and now as a presidential nominee, or when she was the vice president. The woman, she said she would, in her first 100 days, as you said it right away, she would try to confiscate them. 3 times bills to make purchasing a firearm harder. Universal registration checks. Oh, my
Yeah,
God,
that's
3
a
times.
nice catchphase for a bunch of bull.
Yeah, 1 time for an ATF public records bill, and 1 for a backdoor semi-automatic.
So what's the
firearms ban.
ATF public records bill? I mean, just that they would have more records on us and what we buy? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it was. That one caught me off guard. I did not have time to go look it up. I really can't tell you. And when I don't know, I'm not going to sit there and say I do, because I don't. If someone does, please inform me, because I'm going to look it up here after the show and see what that was, because that one slipped by me, and that would have been when she was a senator.
So talking about third parties, you can always do this one.
I saw you sent that. Oh, I'm gonna take you up to the train station and your dog.
And your dog. And your bear, apparently, in
Yeah.
Central Park, I guess. I don't know. Jeez, some people are just dumb.
So Jean Cox, Jean, this is a great thing. Remember, she ran for president in 2020 and
2020.
received 0 votes for delegates.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't capture one single vote. I believe she polled at less than 1% in the primary, and she dropped out before Iowa. And all of a sudden now she is the most popular person in the Democrat Party, miraculously. Yeah, you bet.
They're just going around her because they've got nothing else.
Well,
and it's
and I can tell you why
it's a
she's
dog and
won.
pony show. It's a dog and pony show.
So when all this happened, Biden had no intention to leave. I mean, he said it the Friday before he said it that he was going to quit. Somebody, let's put it this way. As Rush said, they said, all right, your signature, your brains, which one do you want on the paper? And he decided to quit. I don't know what the payoff was. I have no clue, but he did quit.
Yep.
So they couldn't really not go for her. Black. Well, she claims she's black. There's stuff out there that actually says maybe
She's
not.
Look, I don't even go for that. I don't
care what she is, but she's a minority woman, and she's the vice president of the United States. How do you just bypass her? They couldn't. You knew that wasn't going to set well, and that's why she's there. That's why I think they went with it. I don't believe some of the polls I'm seeing. There's polls all over the place, but the credible ones still have her below all the way around. The ones that the ones they're citing are not that credible, and they're obscure, and they're small samples. I don't know if anyone's realized that, because you got to look at who the poll comes from.
Yeah.
Reuters has been around, and they have not always been, I would say, for us, I'd say they're more in the middle. They've got her back 3 points.
Right.
So she hasn't done nothing in 17, 18 days since she supposedly become the candidate for president. She's not moving the needle. She got her little bump. They're not going to have much of a convention. The only reason I think people will tune into it is to see if anything else happens.
MSNBC had a whole thing the other day, 2 days ago. They were talking about, well, it's not just a bump. She has got a substantial rise in the polls. And I'm like I'm looking at the polls too.
No.
And I don't see what you're talking about, but that's all right. I guess if you say it in a 24-hour news cycle over and over again, it'll click in somebody's brain.
I like what Charlie Kirk said. Charlie Kirk said, hey, everybody, don't get alarmed. They're going to do this. He predicted this right away. They're going to show that she rose in the poll, and miraculously she went up in the polls, and she's beating everything. He says, and then it's going to drop again. It's already happening. They didn't even get the bump that they were thinking they were going to get.
Hillary was like 6 points ahead.
Exactly.
Well, no, I mean, Hillary, they were telling us that, she was so far ahead that they weren't even in the same time zone. And we saw that didn't.
No, Hillary should have a new motto, really. She should steal that one, from the dummy guy, the guy that has the dummies, and go, silence, I kill you. That'd be perfect for Hillary. Because that's kind of their motto. You better be silent, or
they'll kill you.
You might suicide yourself or something like that. But Gene, he says in here, in other news, yeah, I saw that too. Cori Bush went down in flames, and she was a squad member. And then she comes out and threatens the pack that was basically behind it. And she, you think I'm radical now? Oh, she went off the hinges, man. She was cussing and everything at her, I don't know, her concession speech. I found it funny, though. That black woman was wearing a pure white outfit. I don't get it. But yeah, I'm on it tonight. I don't care what I say.
That's fine.
So Lynette says, she goes, yeah, this is great. So for the party that's so progressive.
That's right.
Who did they pick? An old white guy out of Minnesota.
That's the first thing I said when I heard who she picked. I said, oh, there's the token.
I mean, she'd have been. I mean, really? That's who she picked.
Somebody's got to drive the car.
Yeah, an old white guy out of Minnesota who was now he's a fake veteran as far as that.
Well, she just did that because he's got good credit. Sorry, Vance. I should have waited till you weren't drinking there. Sorry about that.
One thing I think about it, though, and I made this comment earlier today, I said that I think that proves, though, exactly what Trump said a year ago. and a lot of pollsters I was watching said a year ago that Minnesota's in play, and I didn't believe it a year ago. I believe it's in play, and I think this is their idea of trying to save Minnesota, because no matter what in the Electoral College, if they lose Minnesota, it don't matter.
Right.
It's done. They can win all the other 6, and I don't
Well,
think
that's
they're going to
why-
win Arizona.
that's why
and I don't think they're going to win
Wisconsin-
New Mexico this year.
Wisconsin, Minnesota, and one of the other states like that, they're up there right now doing stuff, and that's why they're sweeping through that, because that's what they want to do. They want to go through the belt there. They want to try.
And
to,
I think
to swing
I
that
really
over.
believe Georgia's going to go Trump this time. What do you think, Vance? You're down there.
Unless it gets stolen, like last time.
Yeah, but I don't know. Here's what I do know. So Charlie Kirk with Turning Point USA, and I don't know if a lot of people, we're really off subject tonight, but I guess whatever.
No, that's fine.
This is important to the Second Amendment and every right we have.
Yeah,
We have to win this election. This is it. This is it. If we don't win this time, the keep your powder dry thing we say, it's real.
This is the one that will do it.
This is the one, because with the ticket now, that's commie, and then that's full bore freaking off the charts commie with walls. And I'm not talking liberal. This is communist crap, and that's what them people are. So when I look at all this right now, I do believe that Trump will win in Georgia. I do believe he's going to win Arizona, and I do believe he's going to win New Mexico. I think it's going to be too big to steal, because Charlie Kirk and his group for the last year and a half have been putting feet on the ground. They've registered more Republican voters than have ever been registered, and they're out registering in the blue counties. This is what's great. Maricopa County, 150,000 more Republicans or something like that than there was the last 2 election cycles. Even if half of them vote, they can't build algorithms that big. They can't do it without it being obvious. If they are successful in their mission, and I think they will be, because Charlie Kirk don't know how to lose. I'm sure you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah.
The man don't know how to lose, and he started this plan 2 years ago. I think he had the idea of it 4 years ago, and started implementing it slowly. I mean, I know that they're on the ground right here in North Dakota. And
Let me show you something in Texas here real quick,
Yeah.
if you want to look at this stuff. So we got this in Texas. If you can see it, it's a little hard to see, but you're looking at the Democrats, 5.2 million. The Republicans are 5.6 million, I think it is, right? And then you had the vote last time was a difference of 600,000 votes in Texas. All right.
There you go.
And there were, I think if you look on there, I can't see in the black, but I can't remember, but it's like
It says 10 million didn't vote.
10 million didn't vote. So, that's the thing is that you've got to get your neighbors, your friends, your relatives,
Everybody.
you got to get vote.
And
you got to get them registered.
I love what the RNC did. It's not being talked about a much, but the RNC initiated an entire plan after they took it over from the old people to get out there and put people in these, especially those 6 main states, to get out there, register. And as they register them, then they get them signed up for early voting. They get them signed up. They don't care. They want to help in any way. And we have to play that game. I don't believe in early voting. I think absentee voting should exist, because there are people that just sometimes aren't here during election day.
Right.
Otherwise, if you don't have a hell of a good reason, you shouldn't be able to vote till election day.
Now, here we are, hunting season's come around in November, and where are we? We're
And there's a group out there right now they're going out there. Hunters, they don't participate, and so they're going out to these states and saying, get the hunter vote. Ted Nugent's involved with that right now, and I think it's a great thing. There are so many groups out there you don't hear about that are working on registering voters, encouraging them, there's all these groups. They want to provide rides so that you can get to the early voting places, to getting your information so you can apply for the early voting or the absentee vote voting. We didn't do any of this 4 years ago.
No,
we didn't have that game plan. I mean, when you look at the election day voting, it was astronomical, right?
Right.
And then the dumps happened. Now, I think a lot of them were BS, but they weren't all BS.
Nope.
But I'm telling you right now, that early voting killed us.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now that we're in that game this time.
And see, I always vote early. I mean, ever since I've been able to, I've always voted early.
Because
I know who I'm going to vote for. So, it's not like I have to sit through all this and make a decision. I mean, I know I'm going to vote for it.
I didn't absentee ballot until they started that crap here in North Dakota, where you only had to have one polling place open in your county, and ours is over in Fort Yates.
Yeah.
Now I do it by absentee, because I'm not going to drive over to Fort Yates. And I can tell you, I don't think there's any funny business going on there. I don't think them people working there are smart enough for that anyway. But I guarantee you, this time when that county commission seat's open, I'm going to run a real campaign. I didn't lose by much last time by not even really running a campaign. I'm going to get that seat.
There you go.
But right now, all I can tell to everybody that's listening to us, vote. Get your neighbor to vote. Get your family. Find that family member who says, "Oh, my vote don't count." Your vote counts. We have to have this thing so big, so huge, that it doesn't matter what they do. And yeah, I've seen some. Let's get to some of these comments. Lynette, she says it doesn't matter. It's the cheating. I think that's what I mean. You got to vote so that they can't cheat.
Yeah.
And she says, I heard there's at least 80,000 illegals that have IDs ready to vote.
I don't know.
I can know in Minnesota, they were giving driver's licenses to illegals. They actually, Walls signed the bill. So I don't know how many towns are doing it, but it's actually legal to do so. I imagine the Twin Cities are doing it heavily. The thing is, though, with the illegals, I imagine those that voted last time, they're going to vote again. And I don't know how many have done it this time. I don't know. I just don't know. I think it never should happen, but hopefully Trump takes office and we can fix that stuff. I think Trump will gut the system this time. He knows who to go after this time. I think his 4 years are going to be spent on gutting the bureaucracy, and it's going to go deep. And it should. Yeah. It's the only way to stop this. But we also have to win the House and the Senate. If nothing else, get out there and vote in your state and vote for the senator and vote for the reps that are going to give control. And I'm not usually like this about, oh, you got to just be a Republican voter. This time,
straight voter, yeah.
You have to be that. There's no Democrat worth voting for.
No.
We have too many rights at stake right now. Right
now, we have to give complete control and trust God that the Republicans will do what needs to be done. This is the last chance.
You know, this should be on a shirt right here. Like we said earlier, it's like, Kamala Harris said she would pass executive orders for mandatory gun confiscations in her first 100 days.
Oh, right.
That quote right there should be on every Republican commercial running right now. Yeah, that is what it is. They're going to take away the stuff, then take it and forget the Constitution and just go ahead and wipe it out.
Well,
so
they only like the Constitution when it works for them, possibly. Otherwise, they would wipe their butt with it. But we're way long. We need to do a commercial, and I'm sure we're going to keep on this. I think this is a great discussion. So we're going to take a big time out. This is the top of the next hour.
All right.
And then we'll be back, guys, and continue our discussion. And chime in here. The comments have been great. And I also want to say thanks to all our Rumble viewers that are over there.
And Twitch. Go Twitch.
And Twitch. I don't know how many we got on Twitch tonight, but hey, we got one. All right.
There we go. We'll take it.
If you haven't seen Twitch, it's very, very clear. I can tell you that. So, all right. We're going to take a big break here, and we'll be right back. I like that one.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck, Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber, rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
Yeah, hey, look, I got the moves like Michael, the flow like Aubrey, walk around thinking I'm a prince like Saudi. Mismatched Converse, t-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, can cop my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
And we're back. So I actually went out and came back in, and it didn't matter. We're still not on Twitter. I did share the link to Fascist Book on X or Twitter, whatever they call it. So you can follow there. But we'll figure it out. And we really have gained over there. I mean, we're taking off over there, so we've got to figure this out. But anyway, so back to Camel Toe, and that's what I call her. I can't stand her. She's the most anti-gun, I think, presidential candidate we've probably seen. Now it's the most anti-gun ticket that we've seen with Walz. Minnesota, I mean, look what's happened over there under him, not just on the gun issue, but all the way around. It's a mess. And I forget, I heard it today, the number, but I mean, they got a hell of a debt they're carrying too.
Oh, yeah.
Which they had a surplus before he took office. And then within 2 years, it was gone and they're running deficits.
That's because everybody loves him because he's always giving the people what they want. And I'm like going, yeah, well, you know.
How many times have I seen where you have a Democrat come in after a Republican, they had a surplus, and then boom, they're within a year or two, they're broke. They're buying their votes, I guess. But
yeah, I think this is going to be very similar to the last election. They're voting for if they vote for Kamala, it's because she's not Trump.
Right.
There's going to be a whole lot of that going on, just like there was last time, because she's not Trump. They may not like her message. They may not like what she stands for, but they hate Trump more than they can stand, so they're going to vote for her.
Yeah, they voted for Biden, and hell, he's a corpse. So
attorneys there.
I do get out there and monitor some of the other media just because I got to know what's being said. And I found it interesting. MSNBC and CNN and even ABC went, and this was what I thought was very interesting. They went and interviewed black people, random black people, and said, does it matter now that Kamala, no, they're voting Trump. And the polls show that Trump has the black vote this time.
Yeah.
You got to remember, the last two cycles he didn't. And here's another interesting thing, as far as and also the Latino segment and demographic, Trump leads there as well. So if you lose those two segments, which the Democrats have always carried the black vote, they're not carrying it right now.
Nope.
If the black people actually vote the way that they're telling people in the polling, it's Trump's.
Well, they said that the basic men, I think 18 to 24, that was 17% in 2000 is now up to 20 to 21% voting for Trump. And there were people on the stage on one of the networks that were trying to point out to the other people that were ignoring that is a trend that you cannot ignore and
can't fix at this point.
And they were like, no, it doesn't mean anything. It's just it's a thing in the numbers. And
well, you'll love this. New York Jewish people, that was done not by a poll friendly to us, polled them, and boom, they're like big time going for Trump now.
Wow.
Because they know what she feels about with the whole Israel thing going on and the Palestinian conflict. Whatever side you're on, it doesn't matter, because she's completely against the Jewish people. And
she's with the squad on that one. She's with the squad on that one.
And we just saw what happened. Gene mentioned it. Cori Bush got hammered. She got hammered. I mean, she didn't just lose. She got
hammered,
defeated. I mean, it was sound. And I'm sure that's because of her comments and support with the squad against the Jewish state of Israel.
We've got the whole Israel thing going on. I believe in what should be going on in Ukraine, but we're not even paying attention to other countries right now. For example, if you look at this,
about that lately.
If you look at this, these are the countries surrounding India right now. Yep. All the ones in red are collapsing. Pakistan and all the other ones, Bangladesh, their governments are failing and they are falling fast. And of course, that's going to bleed into India as well as a war happens there. You don't hear about it. Nobody's talking about that. And I'm like, when we've got some big stuff going on across the country, across the world, I should say. And, we're only paying attention to a few things that they want us to see and not showing us the full map of that. There are some big changes
that's by
in the
design,
world.
Mike. That's by design. That's what BRICS is from. The I in BRICS is India. India is starting to go along with China and Russia. And that's not a good thing for us at all. I mean, they're starting to accept other things other than the American dollar. India's not our friend.
No, I've been saying that for a while. India's not our friend.
And people don't realize that. And that's why you're starting to see the countries around them probably fail as well. And China keeps moving in closer and closer. Look at Taiwan, what's happening there.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan is in trouble on a lot of different issues too. Japan's an ally of ours.
Right.
And this will all, what does this have to do with this show? Because it's all going to come down to our freedoms and our rights, including the Second Amendment. It's bigger than that. If the United States falls, this is the last beacon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then what happens? I mean, I always thought it was heading for that path. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. I think I might now.
Yeah. They have to have the Second Amendment in order to get us.
Yes.
And that's why they're after so strongly. And Kamala is, and this guy Walz is the perfect candidates to take it to that next level. To start doing the confiscation and bans of assault weapons, and all the other stuff that they're after.
Well, on that, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you, we are being hoodwinked by the media left and right because they tell us that we're terrible. Now, Clay, once again, I wish this was a little bigger, and I wish I could make it a little bigger. But I can see it better now. I made my screen bigger. The world's homicide rates, right? Jamaica, 53.3% per 100,000 people. All the way down here in 42 is the U.S., 6.4. Now, do I wish it was at zero? Yeah, I wish it was at zero, but it's not because I live in a real world. But I'm looking at all these places per capita that are just absolute trash, that is just death and destruction in its wake. And of course, a lot of these places are places that basically have been destabilized year after year after year and different stuff. Ecuador, police, all this. These are all, but we're at 42. They want to take away our guns. We're at 42 on the death rate. All right. Not talking about you know, we're number 3 or number 4 or in the top 10. We're 42. The world average is 5.8 of homicides per 100,000 people.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little better. Oh, there, and he didn't have to use his bifocals over there for Vance. So,
Yeah, I do.
but you look at this and you're just amazed by this fact that this is not what's leading on the news right now. Every time that a Democrat gets on the news and says that we have a gun problem in the United States, and I'm looking at this going, no.
Well, and for our podcast listeners, what he's talking about here: Jamaica, St. Vincent, Trinidad, St. Lucia, Honduras, South Africa, Bahamas, I can't read that.
St. Kills,
Belize, Ecuador, and then Ecuador
those are the top 10.
Drops off at 27 with 53.3% at the top with Jamaica. Under that, 42%, like he said, with the U.S., and then the world average is 5.8.
Yeah,
So
we're at 42 on that list.
Yes.
So
but that's the world's highest homicide rates. We don't have a gun problem here. We don't even have a homicide problem here in comparison to the world. We probably have the most civilized. You know, an armed society is a polite society. And the places you see horrible things happening, what do they have in common? A, they're run by Democrat mayors. And B, they have some of the strongest anti-gun laws on the books, and they have the highest crime.
Which means the people cannot own guns, but criminals do.
Because
we see that in all large cities here. We see.
Yeah, look at Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta, New York, Chicago.
Name your big city.
Chicago has to be the worst.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago finally overtook D.C. D.C. used to be the homicide capital of the country. It's Chicago now.
Mm-hmm.
And Chicago they have the gun utopia. They have everything that you want in the perfect world for gun control. How's that working? How's that?
It means I'm unprepared to defend myself, my family, and I become a statistic because I'm walking down the street.
I mean, when I was at Atlanta here in February and I was walking around downtown and everyone said, "You were walking where?" Around that Olympic Centennial Park.
Right.
Honestly, I had no problem. I did. When I landed and I got in there and they got me down there, I did actually go buy myself a knife because at least I'd have something. And I walked around with that. But in all honesty, I didn't have a lot of trouble. I don't know if it was the cowboy hat and boots and they were scared. Like, this guy's either crazy or he really is as tough as he looks. I don't know. But I didn't get touched. But there was some shady
He came to the house and got a gun, Clay. You know that.
Yeah, I should have. Well, you weren't home, remember?
I was in Vegas. But
yeah, so I'm in Atlanta, close to Vance. He said, "Stop in anytime." But guess what? He wasn't there.
You know what? I bet you Vance has got one. I bet you Vance has got one buried out in the yard, so probably in plastic. So you could probably
knock on the door. "Hey, Tracy, I need myself a gun."
You would have got one. She would have gave you one.
First time I ever took an Uber too, by the way. The place that had me down there, they called me an Uber, and I rode in the front seat with the guy, black guy, by the way. Awesome guy. I actually still have his number because he was funny as hell, and I liked him. So I don't ride in the back. I'm not above nobody. And I was like, "You care if I ride up front with you?" He goes, "No, man, come on, hop on it."
There you go.
But yeah, no, I didn't feel real unsafe there. But I can tell you that where some of those shootings took place, it was 2 weeks later. Those were in that Peach Tree area, which isn't far from there. And I was like, "Oh, I was just right over in that area." And I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have stabbed. If someone would have come up to me and tried to do something, you know what I'd have done. I wasn't going to go without a fight. So, but yeah,
I know, and it's a society we live in where they want you to get to the point where like you're the honorable one for taking the bullet or taking the stab because you're not carrying because you're a victim. But you're the honorable one, and I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. I'll give you a good one right here. Now, this is once again one of those tough ones for the guys and girls that are not watching us on the video. But this one, I'm going to get my thing a little bigger. This is taking place overseas. This is a girl on her way home. She uses an airsoft machine gun to avoid being attacked by monkeys. All right, I saw this and I thought to myself, This was when I lived in Cincinnati. I mean, there were dogs and there were this and that. And I'm like, yeah, look, just casual as all get out. Yeah, monkey, you want to try me? There you
I
go.
really have to explain this to our podcast.
Oh, feel free.
You have a little young gal in her cute little uniform and skirt, and probably heading off to a prep school or something,
Yep.
you know. It's on her way home, strolling along, and there's rabid monkeys all over the streets. And she's got her little airsoft machine gun, which, by the way, them are cool. They are
Yeah,
full on.
looks pretty cool.
To avoid being tagged, she got that baby pointed with a full mag. She's ready to just clean up on this monkey.
And that monkey looks like if he's ready to throw some poop.
He
because
does. He's like, man, bring it.
Oh, shit.
So I highly recommend to our podcast, go watch the replay of the video because this is a fun.
And I'm not worried really about that monkey that's right next to her. I'm worried about the one behind the pole because that's the shifty looking one.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
the one. He's a shifty shift. Yeah, he
We're gonna climb that pole and jump down.
He's gonna name him Adam Shift. He's gonna pounce.
Ooh.
We said shifty shift.
Well, I just wanted to show you that even though I was working hard at my new job, I was still looking
I
for
gotta put that
memes.
back up there because
I was still looking for memes the whole time. So there you go.
Oh, so you were working hard, really?
I was working hard.
Yeah.
I play music for a living. So, I've got 3 minutes between when I got to talk. So.
So, all right, we can pull that down.
I thought you'd like that one.
I like that one. That one was pretty good. So we had a lot of things lined up tonight, but we're already at 12 after. I think we need to give a little relief to everybody and do a badass of the week. It's
Okay.
only 6 minutes long. And then we'll come back. We'll probably hit. I do have an armed citizen. I got a couple of them,
awesome.
but
Awesome.
I think I'm going to use the one that took place in Germany just because it took place in Germany. So
Okay.
we'll do that, and then we'll probably call it a night. So with all ado, you want to play the badass, Mike?
All right. We got our badass of the week. We're going back to, I think, week 10. It might be week 9 on this one. And then we do.
Actually. Oh, go ahead.
We do one of the former Rangers, of course, that was in Tacoma, along with his buddies that got tired of dealing with the neighbors that were basically dumbasses. So, go ahead. What you got?
I was just going to run a quick ad just to thank our sponsors.
Run that ad and
on that.
run that ad, and I'll run this as soon as we come back. We're badass of the week.
All right, here we go. If I can find the right one. There.
I'm from the Athlete's Foot Foundation.
Brother. Hey, can you get my demo tape to somebody?
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck, Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy, Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
All right, we're back. Let's hit the badass.
Badass of the week. Everybody, welcome back to GunsInThe701.com and our weekly Badass of the Week. This week, we're covering Army Sergeant Bill Falk. Now, he was an Army Ranger at Fort Lewis, Washington, when he purchased a cheap house in a rough Tacoma neighborhood as an investment in 1989. Now, to help protect that investment, he was determined to help push the drugs and gangs out by any means necessary. He had no idea he was about to see combat from his own living room. Now, the late 80s and 90s saw a new peak in gang violence in America. Unlike other periods of gang activity, these years were particularly dangerous for some areas of the country. Now, the late 80s were also the peak of the crack epidemic, because crack is whack. Drug-related crimes surged 180% through the decade. That, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, Tacoma was considered ground zero for gang activity in Washington state. Now, Falk did what any of us would do. He was concerned that his house on Ash Street, his block, was being used to deal crack cocaine. Now, he purchased his house for $10,000 with the idea that property values would rise. He was set on ensuring that the drug-ridden neighborhood would become safe from gangs and drug dealers sooner rather than later. Now, he began to videotape the people who visited the suspected drug houses. He wasn't wrong. The occupants were members of the Crips. Now, from here on out, we'll be referring to the Crips as dumbasses because, well, it's self-explanatory. The dumbasses were a street gang that was spreading from California to Washington in search of new markets for drugs. Now, don't get me wrong. At the same times that the dumbasses were dealing crack, white kids all over the United States were doing their own drugs from coast to coast. Now, Falk told the Associated Press that gang members began to threaten him when they noticed that he was filming their movements. When he feared that the gang was about to take action against him, well, he called his friends from the 2nd Ranger Battalion to his house to have a, quote, party and be present in case the house was attacked. Again, he was not wrong. Just after the Rangers arrived on September 23rd of 1989, some 15 to 20 gang members, i.e. dumbasses, began to shoot up the 32-year-old's house while his buddies were inside. Now, luckily, the Rangers had brought their own party supplies in the form of weapons. Now, the dumbasses were probably a bit surprised that their would-be victim's house began to return fire. For an estimated 10 to 30 minutes, the two groups exchanged intense fire in a gun battle. Now, that was on the streets of a residential Tacoma. Witnesses said hundreds of rounds from handguns, shotguns, and semi-automatic weapons were fired, and somehow no one was hurt. After a while, because it usually takes them a while, the police arrived on the scene and the shooting stopped. Now, all but 2 members of the gang fled. Those 2 were arrested, but only one was actually charged. And he was let go soon after because our justice system is foobarred. Now, the Rangers' weapons were confiscated by the authorities, but the Army considered the event necessary for their self-defense. Now, this is a quote from Major Clyde Newman of the 2nd Ranger Battalion that he told the AP News Service.
From everything I am told by the city police, the Rangers were right. They were having a party, and they were attacked. They returned fire. I expect nothing less.
The incident was a turning point for the city of Tacoma. It brought national attention to the gang issue in the city streets and prompted residents to take more active roles in policing their neighborhoods, because Lord knows policing doesn't come from the police. As of October 2020, that house that Falk had bought and that his fellow Rangers defended is worth $447,000. That, according to real estate website Redfin. And the Hilltop neighborhood that saw an outbreak of violence is one of Tacoma's quietest. Sometimes it just takes a spark, right?
As usual, when you're dealing with gangs, i.e. dumbasses, they were a bit shocked when the Army Rangers took up proper defense positions and returned fire, protecting themselves and their neighborhood, because drug-dealing gangs are notoriously cowardice. Now, the shootout on Ash Street was wild and chaotic, but eventually, Tacoma's Hilltop neighborhood became one of the city's safest. As for Staff Sergeant Falk, his investment became an incredible success. It pretty much all sums down to one simple thing: crack is whack. No, the other thing. Army Sergeant Bill Falk and his buddies are true badasses. Now, sources for this story were the warhistoryonline.com with Todd Neatkirk, military.com with Blake Stillwell, and Popo Medic Podcast. We thank everybody for tuning in for GunsInThe701.com's Badass of the Week. If I insulted you as a gang member out there listening to this, well, I don't care, dumbass. Remember, if you've got a Badass of the Week you want to hear about here on GunsInThe701.com, all you got to do is email us. And you can do that by going to guns@GunsInThe701.com. And as you can see that little QR code up in the corner, you can click on that and, of course, donate a little cash to us to help us out as we improve our studios and keep the podcast running. Anything you got, 5, 10, 15, 20, will be appreciated. Plus, don't forget to check out our store at GunsInThe701.com and pick yourself up some merch. And as always, we do appreciate everybody tuning in for GunsInThe701.com and GunsInThe701.com's Badass of the Week. As my buddy Clay always says, keep your powder dry and stay safe, you bunch of badasses.
Had a good soundtrack to it.
Yeah, nice job again. I mean, I know that was a replay, but that was a good one too. And that kind of, kind of fed into what we were talking about, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
It's in an inner city and taking it back and using your Second Amendment rights to do it. I mean, this is what it's kind of about, really. That's what we're talking about. You can't defend yourself if you're disarmed. And I
have a strongly worded letter to hand to you.
Yeah,
no, that's not going to do it.
Really?
Hold on, I'm going to call the police on you.
Oh.
And if you're wondering, everybody, here he is. It's not a great picture. There ain't a lot of pictures of this guy.
Not a lot of them. No.
But I found this one. That was one of the I think you used, and then So I mean, kudos to him. Kudos to him for doing that. But good job again, Mike. I don't know if everyone. Some people probably forgot about that one, but that will air again tomorrow if you missed it, and it'll be under its own Badass of the Week on YouTube. It's got its own playlist.
Right.
There are no playlists on Rumble. So, anyway, good job.
Yet.
Does anybody else have an armed citizen or happy ending of the week?
I had some stuff to show you on my phone, but we never had an opportunity because I didn't get home in time. So no, I do not.
Heck, Vance could probably come up with one just being down there so close to Atlanta.
That would require paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I got one quick. I'm going to go over. And this is a mom who took out what I call a bad person.
Oh yeah.
Marina Bachmeier. She shot Klaus Grabowski 8 times in total, with one bullet striking the 35-year-old defendant and killing him instantly as he stood trial for the murder of her 8-year-old daughter, Anna Bachmeier. I mean, I don't even know if I really need to say much more.
No, that was
that
good.
is a happy ending of the week. But I found it interesting.
You should be Badass of the Week.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it happened in Germany of all places. That's why I picked that one, because usually it's the United States. We have a Second Amendment. Well, they don't really have one there. She was getting no satisfaction. She pulled a gun and she shot the man who killed her 7-year-old daughter. And she must have turned 8. I don't know. It's conflicting between whether she's 7 or 8 years old. But 7 times is what she shot him in total, with one bullet striking the 35-year-old defendant, and then there was an 8th shot as well. Came as the grieving mother sought to avenge the killing of her daughter, Anna, who had fallen into the hands of child predator Grabowski on an ill-fated day when she left home. And she confessed to the crime, of course, right away. To me, I'd be like, well done. Well done. And that's how I would have handled it. She stood trial a year later in Lübeck, West Germany. or no, as that's Grabowski stood trial a year later after doing this murder to her daughter in Lubbock, West Germany. The grieving mother, she executed her plan to take end on the killer's life by entering the court with a gun. Now, here's what I find interesting. I don't know about you guys, but I've been in a few of the courtrooms around our area. I don't think you can get a gun in there. They got metal detectors.
I've been in a couple, and I dang sure couldn't get a gun in.
Yeah, you and I were in them for different reasons. I was a witness. Anyway, so she decided to take basically matters in their own hands. She entered the court with a gun on the third day of the trial. She went on to pull the gun from her handbag before firing 8 shots, one fatally striking the killer.
Well, they were sentencing the guy to manslaughter.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and that's why she did it. Yeah, we should put.
And I'm thinking to myself, manslaughter. You killed my 8-year-old daughter, and you're getting off on manslaughter. I mean, that means a plea deal happened, and
Right.
you know,
I find it interesting that the judge he spoke with Bachmeier after the incident, mentioned that the mother of 3 said that I wanted to kill him. He killed my daughter, and I wanted to shoot him in the face, but I shot him in the back. I hope he dies. Good for her. I probably feel the same way, honestly. During her own trial, Bachmeier testified that she had shot Grabowski in a dream while seeing the figure of her daughter in the courtroom. Evidence also showed that she had written on a piece of paper, "Mother did this for you."
any of our kids, you know, we would do the same thing. And without question, and then we would go to jail. And we wouldn't care anymore, but we would know that son of a bitch is in hell.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We've all raised kids. All of us have kids that way over 8 years old. I have an 8-year-old grandson. There's nothing I wouldn't do to defend any of my kids and grandkids. And if someone killed one of them, life wouldn't seem so important anymore to me.
No, sure wouldn't.
Cars to take out the person that killed my child.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, she sold her story to the magazine Stern for $158,000, and it covered her legal costs. And then it sounded like it was really popular. I don't know if it was made into any kind of a movie, but she did go to court. She was convicted of manslaughter, and I suppose that would be the right. I don't know. Germany's got different stuff. They sentenced her to 6 years in prison in 1983. In a survey by Allensbach Institute, 28% of Germans agreed with the sentence, while 27% thought it was too harsh, and 25% felt 6 years was too short. Really, wow. The Germans. 1985, Bachmeier was released after serving 3 years of sentence. She moved to Nigeria, where she got married and lived until the 1990s. So that's my happy ending, Harmed Citizen, because I thought that was a great one. She took vengeance for her daughter. She gave 3 years of her life to do so, and she brought a brutal killer to justice. And good for her. And I don't think she'll be judged ill for that. So that's my happy ending of the week.
Well, real quick on that one, I found this and I was trying to figure out a way to make it a badass of the week. Let me pull this up for you real quick. The Alaskan Avenger, Jason Volkich, smiling at his brother receiving 23-year sentence. Jason used the state sex offender registry to track down offenders, break into their homes, and beat them with a hammer. Both Jason and his brother were sexually abused as children, and they decided to be the avengers of people like that. So there you go.
That's another good one. You know, anytime that somebody preys on the most vulnerable, which is our kids, I hope there's a special place of an eternity of burning for them. I really do.
Oh, they're absolutely.
I got zero tolerance for that. I'm sure you guys are the same way. If it happened to one of my kids or someday my grandkids, I can't imagine what I would do. I always refer to that show. Have you ever seen the movie Law Abiding Citizen? Any of you? So if anyone ever did that to my family, go watch that, Vance, because that's me. I definitely guarantee you that would be me.
Ironically, I hardly ever watch movies.
And you work in the movie industry. Kind of like a mechanic who don't fix his vehicles, I suppose. But so again, we were a little lax tonight, and I got to apologize to the sponsors, but thank you to our great sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair down there in South Washington Street. Hey, I drove by your place the other day, Axe. I know you guys listen quite regularly, and I just didn't have time yesterday to stop and visit. But 701-258-6308, Bloodline Kinetics. Hey, Jacob does a great job. Sounds like our ARs will probably be done this week. He's been gone a lot. He was actually out in Chicago. One of his relatives or something was graduating from the Naval Academy, I believe it was. So good for him.
Awesome.
I can't blame him for being out there. So looking forward to it. Still got some summer left, and honestly, now I have time to use it. So I'm looking forward to getting that AR and putting it to use. And mine's a little different than Jamie's. I had mine pimped out in all kinds of color. I want people to walk up and go, hey, where'd you get that? Then I can tell them about our great sponsor. Of course, Mandan Sporting Goods. I went over there by there. We got some 223 for my nephew yesterday. And, of course, Little Angry Man Firearms, or actually it's Little Angry Man Arms. And that Trail City, 26120, 128th Street in Trail City. You can also get a hold of him at John at littleangrymanarms.com.
Clay,
John has a great store over there.
I noticed that the ad earlier for Little Angry Man, that accent did not sound South Dakota or North Dakota.
You have to ask our esteemed producer here what he did with that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Sounded pretty familiar to me.
Does it? I forgot about this when you were talking about being in Atlanta, carrying the knife and everything for your protection.
I have stability, the ability to stay. I did that. I did while I was there.
There you go. I forgot about that. I'm always finding something for you.
You can fly with a gun, but the regulations are horrible, so I don't.
Yeah.
So I just.
And the problem is that even if you have all your regulations done, you have to worry about some untrained TSA goon that decides that he's got a hair up his butt that wants to give you crap.
I know we're over an hour and a half, but I got to add this. We flew into D.C. For one of our annual meetings. And this is how dumb this was at Dulles. All these regs, right? To transport guns on a fire. And all of a sudden, you're supposed to go and actually pick up your firearm at an actual, they got a window for it. No, we're watching all our luggage come up, and all of a sudden, there's our gun cases on the turnstile. Really? Anybody could have picked that up. Anybody. And them little locks you put on them, yeah, that's a deterrent, isn't it?
Well, it's about as good as any other deterrent, apparently.
So that was in Dulles at Washington, D.C. So if that tells you anything, yeah, good job, guys. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, you want to tune in this Friday, Mitchell in the morning, as always, 8:15 Central in the morning, 7:15 Mountain Time. I'll be on with Todd. I know we're going to talk about Governor Walz, and especially since Todd is from Minnesota, we're definitely going to do that. And then there's a possibility that on the 12th, Monday, I will be in Bismarck in studio, filling in for Mr. Michael Bell at Dakota mornings. So tune in for that. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. I got to talk to him and see what the plan is. I definitely want to do it, and I think I can. So I'll let everybody know. We'll probably post it on our social media. And, of course, every Wednesday night here, right, guys? We're here at 7 o'clock right now. This summer hours, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 8 o'clock Central. You can find us right here at Guns and 701 every single Wednesday. So with that, I think, Vance, we haven't had you on for a while. We've been busy, and we're glad you're back. But, yeah, I definitely would love to end it with a prayer. I've been filling in for you on that.
Will do. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunities we have here to share the freedoms and help spread the word about how imperative it is to protect our freedoms. We thank you for this still great country, Lord, and we just pray that you continue to keep us protected and our freedoms protected. We lift up our soldiers and our military afar and stateside, Lord, and just ask that you continue to keep them protected. And Lord, as this election approaches us, we pray that you touch the hearts of the voters. And Lord, we just pray that we vote with godly values and issues in heart. And Lord, we just pray for our representatives in D.C. to make godly decisions, Lord, and not selfish decisions. And Lord, we love you and we thank you for the opportunities you've given us every day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's absolutely right. And I believe on July 13th, we did witness a miracle that day. And I do believe there is some divine intervention. And I believe this country will survive by God's grace. That's how it was founded, and that's how it will survive. It can. Absolutely. So with that, anyone else got anything else to add?
I'm all good to go. Time to go to bed. I got to get up in the 4 in the
morning.
Well,
I can smell. Danelle's making steak tonight. I can smell everything from upstairs. So yeah, you know,
I can stay up later if you send me down some steak.
Is that some red Gelby steak?
Well, red Gelby, it's the only thing to have. That's the best. The heck with that Angus stuff. We have Gelby. We have real beef here. So, yeah. Anyway, Vance, I'm hoping you make it up here this fall. Mike, I know
Absolutely.
I'm going to see you here this
Yep.
fall, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, don't forget, we got Kelly Armstrong coming up August 22nd on a Thursday. And, of course, Jamie's going to be filling in on the 16th on Dakota Mornings. Guys, with that, keep your powder dry. God bless, and we'll see everybody here next week.
God bless.
Bye-bye.